Alright guys, welcome back. CFP here, and this is Survival Living. So today, my fire kit, we got a couple of different things that we're going to be working on today as far as making fire. Now, we've had some really nasty weather here, and the fact is, just about everything's wet. So, let me show you what I've got in my fire kit that actually helps me with wet conditions. First off, Bigfoot Bushcraft. This is their fire plugs, guys. I've shown this in the past on our other channel. These things are in my kit, and I'll show you why. We're going to go ahead and show a wet scenario. In other words, taking all my material, dunking in water, and starting a fire with it, along with other items that we have in our fire kit. We got some of this grass material here that we have growing all over the place out here. Now, it just got finished raining last night, but Florida sun usually dries out things pretty quick. So what we're going to do is get our material. Sorry about the planes in the air, guys. I have no control over that. Soak everything down. Alright, sopping wet. We also have this material here. This is some dry twigs and stuff, plant that we break up here. Sorry guys, I'm looking at the helicopter in the air. I'm going to go soak all this down as well. And just to show it's not gasoline, yeah, it's water. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all this stuff set up, leave the camera on real time here, guys. Open up my fire kit. Get our ferrocene rod out. This is one from Bigfoot Bushcraft. Got it here. And get our fire plug out. That's why I like these things, guys. They burn for 5 minutes. So even with wet stuff, you're gonna get a fire going. So we're gonna fluff this thing up. And these things are waterproof, by the way. Oh, I don't have any more water. Well, I've shown these things are waterproof. I'm gonna break it up. Grab this piece of wood right here. I need a base. There we go. I don't want it falling off inside the grill here. Alright, so we got all of our water here. Oops, probably slung water all over the camera. Shake it dry, dry-ish. Get our material here. Now what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to build this up just a little bit. I know there's many different ways you can build a fire. Of course there is. Right now, I'm just going to show you how this stuff is actually going to ignite in wet conditions. So we got our plugs here, guys. Take our time. Once I start getting this bundle lit, I'll grab this here. Careful not to smother our fire plugs. Get everything else lit up as well. See if we can't fast forward it for you. Okay, so next up, guys, is a bird's nest material, tinder pile. This is actually cedar bark. Now, as I am showing you right here in this video, so guys, we got a baggie here. I'm actually gonna be collecting this. See how the cedar bark works? You can actually take your hand, if you don't have a knife, and rub it like that and start collecting material. But since we do have a knife, we're just gonna start scraping down or up. start getting in this material here. And it's windy here, so things are kind of flying everywhere. And it does take a while, guys. It doesn't take as long, and this stuff is worth getting. If you come across cedar, I recommend doing just this right here, getting this cedar material. Now you can also tear cedar off in strips and work that material to produce this, but this is what we're going for. I am just going to the cedar tree. It's been raining here. This is finally a break in the rain, and I'm scraping the material. Inside the cedar, inside the bark, is dry material. So what we have here is our cedar material. What I also have, and this thing I've shown using just a pair of seam rods, stuff like that, but I feel like switching up a little bit. What I have here is some char cloth. This is char cloth I made up. I'll usually keep in my fire pouch as well. This here's an older piece. I probably need to make some more up because that there looks like it's falling apart. And we got our flint and steel. So we're going to take our char cloth, I lay it up here with our flint and steel. You lay it on the top or the bottom, whichever way the sparks are going. The sun's so bright out here right now, I can't even see where the sparks are going. Alright, but we got sparks now. Okay, so before I burn my hand, I'll set this in here. Close it up gently. We got fire. So that's getting a tinder pile out of the cedar tree, just shaving the bark down. Next, guys, is picking up material and getting all the bark off of it. This is the stick that's been laying out here. I've shown this. Most of your wood is wet on the outside and also the bark itself. So what we're going to do, guys, is trim this down until we get to some drier material. And that stuff is still burning underneath here. That's that cedar bark. Make sure that's out. Once you get into this dry material, guys, then you're going to start working on actually getting dry tinder pieces. Like that right there. This stuff burns really well. Now you can start making feather sticks. They work really good. I like using them a lot, especially in wet conditions. Just strip some of that material away and get down to that dry wood. And since I've collected plenty of this cedar bark, I'm going to shred it up as well. Put down here with our featherings. Get our fire starter, and we superheat all this. Just like that right there. Make sure we got oxygen going to everything. And again, guys, you can take any wet stick as long as it's not waterlogged. You can shave off your outer material, get down to the dry bark, and that's when you start getting your nice shavings off. As simple as that. Ooh, that wind is something else. So guys, we got some of our shavings and we got some more of this cedar bark. We're gonna love cedar bark. So what I'm going to do is use our magnifying glass, and we're going to find a spot on our cedar bark, start making a charred out spot that we can actually blow into flame and add our wood shavings to. Alright guys, so we got some more material here. Gonna soak it all down. Just like that. Now, what else do I have in my kit? Well, being a prepper, I think we've all seen Vaseline cotton pads, correct? Well, I usually use the makeup pads with Vaseline. Now, these things work great with wet conditions. It's slow burning. Well, slow-ish burning. I mean, these things do ignite, and they will burn the crap out of you if you're not careful. So I'm going to take the pad. It's got Vaseline on it. I'm going to shred it up a bit. I'm going to put this down. I'm going to make somewhat of a barrier there. As you can see in my fire kit, I do have an actual lighter. I'm not against having lighters. I like having lighters. So like what I was saying about different ways of striking, since I already have this material there, I can actually take my ferrocene rod and pull it back. That way my spark is more concentrated at my target. And we'll let this burn, and that Vaseline pad will start drying out this material. Make sure I get my fire kit up out of the way here. And again, wet conditions. It all just depends on the material you're using and breaking it down for what you're going to be using. So because everything's wet, we want to go real small with all of our material. So guys, there are many different ways of actually starting fires in wet conditions. That's just what I grabbed out of our kit. Definitely check out our playlist that has been popping up on the screen for you guys. I go over more detail on many different types of starting fires and starting fires in wet conditions. All right guys, y'all be safe. Y'all keep prepping, work on the skills.